YouTube! Welcome to the Daily Fantasy Perspective with our co-host Andrew and that's not BJ. That's $1 Million Mitch. We have a special guest today. $1 Million Mitch.
Only.
Mitch only in the chat. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm great.
Doing good.
$1 million on my mind.
$1 million on the mind. We're winning that million this week, boys and girls. All right, we got to know. Let's start this episode. How much money we put in, how much money we get out last week. Let's be transparent.
And you go first, man.
Okay. Adam and I, we went in for $110, and we were looking to break even before the Derrick Henry explosion in the second half of the Seahawks game. So that crushed us. We ended up winning $71 total. And the second half of that game just killed us.
BJ, what about you, my friend?
Yeah, man, I was real big on Derrick Henry. And I went in, I did about 120 on DraftKings. Or no, it was 100, no, it was 250 on DraftKings. Wasn't it? 250 on DraftKings, and then I did like $80 on FanDuel FanDuel, and then DraftKings I did $80. Then I cashed out on my DraftKings. I had a huge hit. I hit $300 on there, and then I cashed. I think it was $145. So not bad. It's about $450.
So you went out this week. Nice job.
Great.
Good win.
I put in. Was at 130 and I cashed out at 80, so I had a $50 miss. So stinked, but we're hopping back on the wagon. I just didn't have enough shares of Derrick Henry and Cooper Kupp. You know, our lineup of the week looked pretty good, but I was the person to let us down with my touchdown calls, and we'll go ahead and start there. I was 0 for 2 in the touchdown call of the week department. My 2 touchdowns of the week were Nelson Aguilar, who just didn't see any targets, and then Miles Sanders, who the Eagles just got bum rushed. That was a pathetic offensive performance.
Terrible.
Really couldn't get anything going, and yeah, I liked my picks. I'm gonna be better this week. I think I got a couple sleepers. BJ, I think you went 1 for 2 with your picks. I think you had Amari Cooper and Derrick Henry. Amari was playing hurt. We all saw what Derrick Henry did. That guy exploded. That was a great call by you, BJ.
Yeah, for sure.
And Andy, remind me who your picks were, Andy. You went 2 for 2, right?
2 for 2. I had Mike Williams and Najee Harris.
Nice.
Najee was a great call, Andy. That was a freaking great call.
Thank you.
Great call. So, recap for the year. I am 2 for 4. BJ's 1 for 4. And Andy, the golden Andy, 4 for 4.
Give it up.
Give it up for Andy. The touchdown calls of the week, 4 for 4. That's pretty damn impressive, honestly.
We're leaving BJ in the past, 1 for 4. This is Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
This is Mitch's
that's why
week.
we brought in the special guest, $1 Million Mitch, today. So, anyway, we recapped last week. Is there any, announcements or just things you guys want to say about last week before we get going?
No, I just regret not picking Derrick Henry in more than just 2 lineups.
Yeah. I had a great week, man. I thought we all had some great picks, honestly. I mean, listening to you guys with the not Amari Cooper, but the Najee Harris pick, Andy, that really helped me with a lot of lineups hitting. And then I was real big on Derrick Henry last week. I figured, they didn't really rush the ball that much the first week, so I figured they were going to pound it down their throats, and they did.
Yep, and still disappointed in the Eagles' offensive performance. I went all in on that. I had like 10 lineups with Miles Sanders, and oh well, man. I still cashed a little bit, lost $50, but we still have some money to play with in the account. So we're moving into this week. I am making 15 $5 lineups. What's your guys' bankroll looking like this week?
Probably about the same. I'll do about 10, 15 of the $1 million lineups. Make sure I get enough shares of everybody, and if I don't feel like I do, I'll enter more.
Yeah, I'm the same. Mitch is the same. He's 100% rolling. He's 15 lineups, $5 a piece. Seems like good enough amount for Mitch. $1 million. Spread it even through all of us.
I mean, I think we can all agree once we start breaking down this week 3 prices, people are starting to get priced about where they should be. The discounts are becoming harder and harder to find. Therefore, really, entering more lineups, yes, hypothetically helps your chances, but there's only so many different things that you can do. This turns into more of a luck-based thing, and hopefully you hit on the expensive players that you pick. We're about when we dig into this, we're gonna have a lot of players, around the same tier for the week that maybe be 100 or 200 off, and whether they hit or not's by chance. How do you guys feel about that with these prices?
I think there's some hidden gems in there this week,
Uh-oh.
as you'll find out as we go through them. But yeah, I agree. Prices are starting to people are starting to be priced correct, and as offense starts to set in.
Yeah, I agree. That's like the Derrick Henry thing I said last week was that's the lowest price you're going to see him all year when he explodes. Because, I mean, like Andy said, literally the first week, it's hard not to put him in a lineup because if you don't have him in that lineup, he's such a volatile person that he can go off for 50 or he can go off for 0. So that's the lowest you're going to see. Plus, I agree with Andy. I think we'll see some hidden gems in here too.
I like that. I like that. So let's go ahead and dig in. Andy, what QBs of the week are you looking at? I know we have the top 4 that, or even 5 that you're going to need some shares of potentially.
First thing, could you pull up the over under?
Yep, I have the over-under over here. Which one are you looking for?
I think there's 3 games that are in the 50s, correct? Or
Yeah,
high
so
50s.
let's go over that first. We look at these games. We have Arizona and Jacksonville at 51.5. We have the LA Chargers, Kansas City Chiefs at 54.5.
There we go. That's a good one.
And then we got Baltimore, Detroit at 50, and Tampa Bay and LA Rams at 55.5, and Seattle, Minnesota at 55. So there's some high-scoring games this week.
Wow. Yeah, that is 3 of them 55 or close. That's pretty good. As far as quarterbacks, I think my favorite play as for quarterback this week is Lamar Jackson at 8,400 against Detroit. I just feel like Detroit is going to get steamrolled here. I think Lamar Jackson's going to be running a lot. He's starting to connect more with his receiver Hollywood Brown. I think this offense is going to start coming together, and it's going to be led by Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen at 8,000. My gosh, what is going on? I mean, the running upside with Josh Allen, as we saw, Washington's defense is not performing like people thought. Daniel Jones was scored on him with ease. So I don't know if there's something going on there or people figured him out or what's going on with Washington's defense, but not as good as advertised so far this season.
Especially susceptible to the QB run. So watch out for that. I like that call a lot.
So those are my 2 big guys, but you can't go wrong with Stafford at 7,600. High over under in that game. He's going to be slinging the ball around. Justin Herbert at 7,500. Don't quite get that either, but he's getting a lot of yards, but he's 2 total TDs for the season so far. I think that's what's hurting him. Look for them to find the end zone this week. Those are my big guys this week. If you want a discount, you can pick Daniel Jones at 7,400 against Falcons. That's the worst defense in the league, in my opinion.
No doubt about that. BJ,
and he'll use his legs.
100%.
He'll trip into that end zone if he has to.
Yeah. He'll trip. Doesn't matter. Flip in.
Well, man, I always hate this. I hated it last year. I hate it this year. I hate when Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes are on the same slate. Both those guys can get you with 40, and then you have to have them in there to win that million, So picking between them 2 is really hard. I don't think you can go wrong. I think Kyler Murray truly does have an MVP-type season this year, so I think every time you pick him, you're going to get some points out of him. But they're starting to get to that place where their price range is getting up there, so picking them is going to kind of get iffy with the smaller guys and guys you need to fit in there. Like Andy said, Josh Allen sitting there at 8,000. That's ridiculously crazy. He put up 20-some FanDuel points last week in like the third quarter. So what's he going to do in a full game? It's going to be like 36, 38 like we've seen last year and sitting there at 8,000. Like I said last week about Derrick Henry, that's the lowest you're going to see him this week. Mark my words. Russell Wilson, you got that points total up in the 55. That's huge. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's going to have to do a lot. I expect DK Metcalf to finally break out this week, seeing as how Lockett's been going nuts. Tom Brady's not a bad one to pick. I mean, even with the Rams, but I think he can dissect the Rams. He loves Gronk. Gronk's been doing great. Like Andy said, man, Justin Herbert. Herbert's a huge one. That KC defense doesn't really – yeah, they got a couple picks from Lamar, but once they settled in and, really got the going, they kind of hurt him. But I expect Herbert to finally have a good game this week. Like you said to me, Paulie, Teddy Bridgewater, crazy stat of the year, him having the longest deep ball.
Yeah, what is that?
Most yards per target.
Yeah, that's insane. But I think truly my favorite low play of this week, I really do, man. I think that you can't go wrong with the Justin Fields, man. I mean, his leg ability, his touchdown upside score, that price. I mean, he's going to come out. I know I love the Browns. I mean, me and Paulie, Browns through and through, but our defense has been looking a little rough here. And we have a couple injuries on that side of the ball. So, I mean, I could see Justin Fields putting up some points against us this week. So I don't think that's bad. I might throw him in there a good 4 or 5 lineups, honestly, just at his price and try to go up high on somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything to add. I like what you guys said. I think the sneakiest play of the week is honestly Tom Brady, and here's why. When you think LA Rams defense, you think you're not playing a QB against LA Rams defense, but then you look at their over-under, it's the highest on the slate, and they're damn near projected the highest amount of points on the slate. So you count that into effect. Tom Brady's ownership's going to be lower than usual because they're playing the LA Rams, but he's still projected to get the most points team-wise on the slate. Those are the kind of trends that you need to look for when you're dissecting these lineups because that gives you contrarian lineups and you're different than everybody else. Ryan, my coworker, we'll get into this later, but there's an article by Mike Clay from ESPN each week called Shadow Coverage Report. Very good insight. He predicts which the top cornerbacks are going to cover and receivers, and it helps you set your lineups. So remember, my 3 golden rules setting my lineups is I'm avoiding shadow coverage from Jalen Ramsey. I'm avoiding shadow coverage from Jair Alexander, and I'm avoiding running backs against Tampa Bay Buccaneers if they don't have any outside running ability. So that report will literally tell me who they project Jalen Ramsey to shadow coverage. So I highly recommend the listeners and you guys even to check that out because it's a good report out there. It does have a little paywall, but most people do have ESPN Plus, and it's available with ESPN Plus. Anyway, sorry I got off track, but that's kind of where I'm leaning at with the quarterbacks, trying to be a little bit contrarian because picking through these top guys is just impossible. They all should have good games, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I think people will shy away from Josh Allen too, just because of Washington's defense.
Mm-hmm. I love Josh Allen. I think he breaks off a 40-yard run this week.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, boys and girls. On to the running backs. BJ, how about you start us off on?
Yeah, man. Derrick Henry. I mean, there's a couple times last year, you're looking at the top of the slate. There's a couple times last year where he had, back-to-back crazy games that he just popped off. But that Indianapolis defense, I mean, they kind of seemed suspect to me last week. Darrell Henderson had a great game. Derrick Henry's on a different level than him. I'm definitely going to throw a couple in there with him. Looking down here, Dalvin Cook's got that injury thing. You don't know what's going to happen. So if he's out, I think Madison may be the play. It may be the play just because Seattle's defense with the run game last week and Derrick Henry looks so rough. Looking down through here, man, there's a couple guys that I really like. You got Antonio Gibson. And I know that the Bills just came off that dominating performance against Miami, but that's without a quarterback and all that. Miami looks like they're going to struggle the whole year. But I think Antonio Gibson is due for some kind of breakout game. He's perfectly healthy. He's not even questionable this week. Another one I really, really like this week is I like James Robinson against Arizona defense. I like that a lot. And my sneaky little play for real cheap, I told you this earlier in the week, Paulie. Michael Carter for New York Jets. I know that they got blown out last week. I know, I know they didn't do anything. Zach Wilson looked rough, but like you said, New England, in that that rookie quarterback thing, man, you're dead on about that. Michael Carter was one of the bright spots out of that game. I mean, with the snaps he got about, what did he get right there? 11 rush attempts. It really, really looks like he's going to see the majority of the work. He's going to take over that backfield. And at 4,900, I don't think it's a bad thing to throw him in there, see what he can do. But that'd be my sneaky play of the week. But yeah, I mean, it's hard not to be big on Derrick Henry. It's hard not to be big on any running back against Seattle this week. And James Robinson, I think he's due. I mean, he's due. Seems like he got more carries, rush attempts last week. I think they're going to get him more incorporated in the offense. I don't think Urban Meyer's going to win a single game this year, but I think he needs to realize that he's got a stud in James Robinson. I think he's going to try to pound the ball this week with James Robinson and the catch upside with him too.
All right, good picks. Mr. Andrew, what are you feeling this week?
Mitch, I might be in agreement with you on that Jets game. I think it'll be on the other side of the ball, though. I think Javonte Williams will have a breakout game. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
I'm super high on Javonte Williams. He was one of my sleeper starts of the week.
I might be getting him in a couple lineups. But as far as big money running backs, I like Dalvin Cook. I think he does suit up and play this week. I think he'll have a huge game against Seattle. We just seen what Derrick Henry did. Derrick Henry had 9 catches? I mean, that's
6 catches or something crazy.
Yes, that's crazy for him. Dalvin Cook's better. So
what's crazy is that Derrick Henry didn't have much going on at the end of at halftime. Then all of a sudden you look at the box score like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
Right.
I was getting real aggravated there, sitting there trying to watch, and because I picked Derrick Henry in so many lineups, I even picked him I picked him in probably 85% of my lineups this last week, and I was getting so frustrated sitting there watching him not do anything. And then I think it was like third quarter, I took a shower and I came back out, and then it was like, I think he had like 36.
That's insane. That's crazy.
Austin Eckler for 7,000. Huge on him this week. He's probably my running back pick of the week. I'm going to be fitting him in majority of the lineups. I like Tyson Williams for the Ravens, 6,400. That's a nice little discount on him. He's getting better and better. He just needs to watch the fumbles, but I think he'll get that under control. And this is the week for Mr. Saquon Barkley for 6,000. Get him in almost all your lineups. This is his get right game. Nice, easy defense. I think he's probably going to be one of the picks of the week too.
Yep, that was another one of my sleeper starts of the week. He's been out of my lineups in every league that I have him, but Saquon Barkley. If he doesn't do it against the Falcons defense off 10 days of rest, sell your shares. Sell your shares of Saquon Barkley.
Paulie done sold his shares today for 3 first-round picks, so good trade, Nick.
Hey, man, doing my thing. I like Austin Eckler a lot. I do. I like Javonte Williams a lot. I'm not going to overlook Nick Chubb. I mean, they're going to run the ball. You have to have him in a couple lineups each week. Each week, man, it's 16 to 21 points. He gets 11 to 16 carries, and you could pretty much count on him finding the end zone one time. That
man produces.
Mm-hmm. I think a sneaky play that no one's going to talk about is Alvin Kamara because, again, kind of like Tom Brady, he's going against a bad team, and he's coming off a bad week. 5 FanDuel points, probably one of the worst games of his career, honestly. This is more like Alvin Kamara, not this. And
I think we all faded him last week, didn't we?
We did. Yeah. And you know what, boys? I'm going to put my stamp of approval on this. This is the cheapest you're going to see Alvin Kamara after this week. He's the same price Derrick Henry was last week, and this is the cheapest you'll see him. They're going to feed him the rock. They're going to run the offense through Alvin Kamara, and he's going to find the end zone. Chris Carson versus Minnesota is a sneaky play, and back to I know I don't want to pick against the old Bengals, but Najee Harris sitting there 7,500 again. He's too cheap. He's going to cheap. They're going to score a lot of points in that game. I don't know what that over under is, honestly.
I think Ben's hurt though.
Oh my gosh, it's only 43.
Yeah,
I'm betting the over on that, man. I'll take the over, please. Ben is hurt, isn't he? Is he playing
Yeah.
though?
Yeah, they did that to me in Vegas when I went to bet. They wouldn't even put the line up until they figured out what was going on with Ben. So that line may move. Who knows?
I will bet the house that both these teams score more than what they're projected. That's insane. Yeah, no one else is really sticking out. I know you said Antonio, not
Gibson.
Antonio, yeah, Gibson. Excuse me, but
Yeah, Gibson.
I actually like McKissick again more this week because I see a situation where
Playing from behind.
playing from behind, they love throwing him the ball. Six targets, 5 receptions, 83 yards. I mean, they use him in the passing game. It's ridiculous. Gibson was a wide receiver in college, and they do not use him in the passing game. And they just like McKissick. And I don't really have anyone else I like. I'm a little bit back on the Mike Davis train. I think he's going to be low owned this week because Cordell Patterson's kind of breakout game. But I think Atlanta does want to run the ball, and they know Cordell Patterson's more of a scat third down back that's going to be getting catches out of the backfield. So I think 1 and 2 down backs against the Giants will be good play.
What do you guys think about Chase Edmonds for 6,600? I
Love
kind of
him.
had my eye on him too.
I did too. I was looking at that too. Love it.
Think they'll get the lead and
Yeah.
Yep.
run through Edmonds?
Oh yeah.
Well, we have to
I could
run
actually
through.
see
They
them
love
going
him
the
on-
opposite and just throwing in having such a big lead. They don't want to hurt him. They just throw in what's his name? You know what I'm talking about, their backup. James Conner, yeah. Throw him in there and just let him pound the ball. Met that, he's a bruiser. So
This is why I like Chase Edmonds. 4 or 5 catches a game.
yep.
Probably
Every
a pretty
time.
safe bet to find the end zone this week too, I bet.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Let's move on to the wide receivers. Andy, what's the wide receiver plays of the week for you?
I am going to be pairing up Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs at 7,700. I mean, the targets speak for himself. He's pretty cheap for 7,700, to be honest with you. I think I'll hop on your guys' train. I don't think you'll see him at that price the rest of the year. Target share, I mean, he's a monster. I like Keenan Allen for 6,900 this week. How many targets does he get? 8 and 13. Yeah.
Hasn't found
Herbert's
the end zone yet.
Yeah, hasn't found an end zones yet. That's big. He's cheap. High over under in that game. Herbert's going to be throwing the ball a ton. He's going to be throwing to Keenan Allen, I think. A.J. Brown bounce back week for 6,800. I think he probably finds the end zone this week too. 8 or 9 targets a game.
His family member told him he couldn't catch COVID last week.
Yeah, I saw that. That's
My God.
I think he took that personal.
That's a Mitch stamp of approval right there.
Yeah. Get him in your lineup. I'm going to be pairing Daniel Jones with Sterling Shepard for 6,400. I don't think you can go wrong pairing him up with Kenny Golladay either. I think they're both fairly cheap options going against the Atlanta Falcons. And I also like Robert Woods. Very cheap. 6,100 for Robert Woods and another high over-under game. Sign me up for that. I think people are going to be catching on to the Cooper Kupp rally, and he's going to be start throwing to Robert Woods, get him involved. And he takes some handoffs too.
And that's where you beat the these guys play the Buccaneers, right? I'm not making that up.
No.
That's where you beat the Buccaneers, the outside handoffs. You aren't going to run it up the middle. So I think Robert Woods is going to get 4 or 5 in the rounds. I think that's a safe assumption.
I think you need to get him in your lineup this week too. And under the radar pick, Rondell Moore for 5,600. If you need someone really cheap to throw in there, I don't think you can go wrong there.
Mm-hmm. Interesting fact about Rondell Moore. Same team, more targets than DeAndre Hopkins so far this year.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
All right. Is there anybody else that you're looking at, Andrew?
No, I'm ready to pass it on to Mitch. Hear what he has to say.
$1 million Mitch. Give us some insight, bud.
Mitch's looking up. He's looking at the very top there, Paulie. He's looking at a guy named Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill last year off bad games came back and he just dominated the next game. So I really do think he's going to have a crazy game this week. Another one that I'm really, really high on this week, DK Metcalf. I think he's just been bubbling, boiling, ready to come out and, catch some touchdowns. I think he's going to be my touchdown call of the week this week. So DK Metcalf, I'm real high on him. Looking down here, I'm pretty sure last year, I think Chase Claypool dominated the Bengals each game they played. I'm pretty sure. So I really, really like Chase Claypool this week. And I'm Deontay Johnson, he's questionable. He's just injury prone this year. I mean, he was like that last year. Another one I think is going to be real slept on because last week is Corey Davis. I really do. I know that Denver defense is good, but Corey Davis is going to be slept on. Denver's defense is good, but I think you said they're missing Chubb, aren't they, this week? So he's going to have some time to sit back in the pocket, do a little scouting. I think, Courtney Sutton's who you think is going to contain Corey Davis? Probably him, Surtain or whatever, Patrick Surtain. Yeah, he's probably going to contain. I think Corey Davis can take that matchup all day. Andy hit the nail on the head, man. Rondell Moore, especially if you're looking at it. It says that D-Hop's expected to play, but, 10 targets, 9 targets compared to D-Hop's. D-Hop's a touchdown guy, but, you can get those touchdowns all you want, but if you ain't getting targets in those catches, then your points really ain't going to matter that much. So Rondell Moore is a big play. And there's one more guy. I was just looking at my phone, just turned off. Right above Rondell Moore, man, Henry Gruggs. Henry Gruggs, man. I think he's a deep threat for that Miami defense. I think he probably breaks off another touchdown this week. I'm not going to do a touchdown call with him, but look at his targets last week. It was pretty crazy. So I think they're going to try to find him. Definitely find him with a couple deep shots against Miami, against that defense.
Yeah, that LA Raiders offense is or Las Vegas Raiders, excuse me. Their offense is tough. Derek Carr leading the league in passing yards so far. And these deep threats get some targets, man. They really do. I really like the Kenny Golladay call. Someone's going to go off on that offense, either Kenny Golladay or Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, it's going to be one of them.
Heck, even Slayton might score. So one of those is going to have to be in your lineup. I like the Chase Claypool. That was one of my calls of the week, but I also like Juju. Juju's that slept-on receiver for the Steelers that seems to always do something big against the Bengals. Watch it over and over again. I like Mike Williams again. We didn't really touch base on him. And I do like both Cincinnati receivers this week. I think Pittsburgh probably jumps out a little bit playing at home. Cincinnati bears back and throws the ball a lot, and I think T. Higgins and Jamar Chase both have pretty decent fantasy football days. I am going to pair up Lamar Jackson with Marquis Hollywood Brown. This dude has been on fire this year, guys.
He is on fire.
10 targets, 6 receptions, 113 yards and a touchdown the first game. 6 targets, 6 catches, 69 yards and a touchdown. The first game, and the first one I said was the second game. But that's crazy, guys, and another high-scoring affair. He's too good to pass up. Get him while you're hot. I don't really have anything really different than what you guys have towards the top. I like Hopkins, too, if he plays. And Ridley has a tough matchup against Bradbury. And Tyler Lockett, I think you need to get him in a lineup, too, because he has that boom potential.
You have to. What was that? What was Courtney Sutton at? Did his price raise?
Courtney Sutton definitely raised. He's $6,900 now.
I think he was 62 last week.
I still think you have to pick him.
Yep. A.J. Brown, too cheap.
Too cheap.
Tim Patrick, I forgot about him. That's what I was thinking about.
Yep, Tim Patrick, touchdown machine.
Yeah, just touching.
All right, boys, we have 10 minutes. Let's go over these tight ends, and we'll make our lineup of the week. BJ,
for tight end.
Or Andy, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. My tight end pick of the week is Hawkinson for 6,300. Target machine. He has been killing it, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been killing it.
He's probably about the only weapon they have beside DeAndre Swift. I like him this week. I think he's fairly cheap priced. I like Kyle Pitts again for 6,200. Heck, he might even find the end zone this week. Never know. My value pick will be Higbee for 5,500 with a high over/under. He didn't see much action last week, but I think he's still a target for Stafford. And if Evan Ingram plays for 5,100, I think you have to have him throw a dart at him too.
Yep, Evan Ingram hasn't played this year to a foot injury, and might come back this week. I like those a lot. BJ, go ahead. What's your tight end pick of the week?
Yeah, man. I really, really, really like Higbee again. I know I said it last week. He didn't really get targeted. I mean, Cooper Kupp is just a freaking target hog over there right now. But I think with this defense, they're going to have to use a tight end. They're going to have to use some action against Tampa Bay. I'm pretty sure the first two games, I think it was Dallas, and then last week, you've seen some tight end targets there against Tampa Bay. So I think they're going to definitely need to do that to open up their run game a little more. Kyle Pitts. I love that play. I love Kyle Pitts this week. I think my sneaky play this week is Pat Freiermuth, man. I think he finds the end zone this week. I really do. He had about, I think it was 5 targets last week. Without Ben, I mean, it's kind of iffy, but I mean, he looks like he's going to be a very good tight end in this league for a long time. I think this week against Cincinnati, the way they've struggled with their defense and stuff, I think it's a prime opportunity to throw a dart at Pat Freiermuth this week.
Love it. I'm leaning more towards the top. I'm going, probably most of my lineups are going to consist of Travis Kelce, TJ Hawkinson, and I'm going to throw in a little cheaper play, Cole Kmet, because I just watch the Browns get torched by tight ends each week. And Cole Kmet's going to be the receiving factor of a touchdown this week. There's no doubt in my mind. 7 targets the first game, and Justin Fields under center. I think that's going to leave the tight end open. I hate to say it as a Browns fan, but
it is.
Expect Cole Kmet to find the end zone. Defenses, give me your number one defense play of the week, BJ.
That's a tough one for this slate, man. My heart, I mean, it's got to be that Jacksonville. It's got to be Arizona this week, I'd say. Arizona defense against Jacksonville. I mean, looking on here, this one's going to be a hard one to predict the defense this week, I think, with all the points totals and stuff. They're pretty high this week. But if you're just looking to throw something cheap, I'd go with Arizona because they have
51.5.
Yeah.
Andrew, what's your defense call of the week?
The team was playing. The team threw up a goose egg last week. The Miami Dolphins. So it'll be the Raiders defense.
Love it.
Against the backup QB.
That is also my defense of the week. The Las Vegas Raiders. I pretty much have them in every single lineup. They're 1,000 cheaper than max. If I have a couple thousand left over and I'm making my lineups, I will spend up and take the Broncos versus the Jets. But you cannot go wrong with that Vegas Raiders defense, man.
Yeah, they're swarming, man.
Yeah, they're swarming. They're fast to the ball. I mean, they made AFC North teams look pretty rough so far.
Carl Nassib, man.
He's great.
Yeah.
Carl Nassib and the Crosby guy is crazy. All right, moving on. Touchdown calls of the week. Money Mitch. Let's hear it.
Well, man, I said earlier, DK Metcalf, I really, really, really expect him to find the end zone this week. I don't know how many catches, targets, whatever, but I think he's going to finally break free and get a touchdown. Hell, him and Tyler Lockett might just do it together. That Minnesota defense is rough. Another one I'm really looking forward to get a touchdown here if my internet starts working. Let's see. Jonathan Taylor. We didn't even touch on him. That's who I forgot to say. Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor's schedule from here on out, man. I think he's almost a must play. I mean, almost a must play. I mean, from here on out, he's gonna dominate the ball. They're gonna get him some touches, especially with Carson Wentz out with this double ankle sprain. I don't know how you do that, but Carson Wentz found a way to do it. Jonathan Taylor, man, I'm gonna call him a touchdown. Touchdown call.
Andrew, what's your call of the week?
I'll give you a running back and a receiver. My receiver is A.J. Brown.
Love it.
And my running back is Austin Eckler.
Love both those calls. Big time, big time, big time. All right. My running back is Javonte Williams. I think he finds the end zone. And my receiver, the receiver play of the week is no other. I'm going to keep creeping down here,
Whoa.
and I am going Mr. Kenny Galladay to find the end zone.
He about went fisticuffs with old Daniel Jones. I wonder how it would have went.
Oh, don't worry. He said he was yelling at the coach, not the quarterback.
Yeah, right.
And all the Giants fans were like, "Oh, that's okay then. That's fine. You can yell at the coach. Just don't yell at our QB."
Yeah.
All right, boys. So, what QB we liking this week? Let's stick down. We can either go
Josh Allen, dude. I say we just go Josh Allen.
Josh
We all
Allen,
love him.
Josh
Yeah.
Allen or Lamar.
Josh Allen, man. I think we all three really like Josh Allen.
Okay.
We gotta go Eckler, Jonathan Taylor. We'll go ahead and throw Mr. Javonte Williams in the flex.
AJ Brown, DK. Then we'll go low on tight end.
Mm-hmm. For sure. We'll try to fit everyone in. Can I find Javonte Williams? That is the question.
5.8K.
Oh, 5.8? A little bit more expensive I thought it was.
Yeah.
So we went DK and AJ.
Yep.
Yeah,
AJ's pretty cheap.
The old
isn't he?
teammates, huh?
Yeah, I love that.
that's cool.
The old connection. What's another? Oh, we need to go Galladay. I need to get my receiver in there, huh?
Yeah.
He's down there too, isn't he? There he is.
Tight end. Let's get our defense real quick.
Yeah, we just got the old Raiders in there.
We might be able to spend some money on this tight end. We can get Kelsey. What do you guys think?
Hell
him
yeah.
in.
Let's
Throw him in.
Throw him in there, man. And there is.
What we got left over?
We got $100 left over.
I love a hundo.
Now, does that make you guys nervous that we didn't stack Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs?
Nah, running upside. I think we're all right.
Nah, we're gonna lock and load this. There's your $1 million lineup this week. If you guys are playing along with us, we did cash in that lineup last week. So
We cashed in our last two.
Yep, cashed in the last two. There's some free money for you guys this week. Get them into your lineup. All right, Money Mitch and Andy. We have a minute to go. Do you have any words of wisdom of the week, Money Mitch?
If I win $1 million this week, I'll take you guys on vacation.
Hell yeah. Andrew, what about you?
Take the Panthers tonight. That's it.
I love Panthers -8. That was me and Jim Stroker's pick of the week on the football betting perspective.
Well, I was going to say, too, the Nebraska pick. I like Nebraska to cover.
Okay. Nebraska to cover. You heard BJ? I think I picked that too, didn't I?
I think you picked Michigan State.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going against each other.
I just watching Nebraska.
All right.
I
We'll
just
have to
got
do a
a
little
feeling.
friendly wager off air. All right, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to the daily football perspective, daily fantasy perspective. $1 Million Mitch checking out. And remember, everybody, this is our perspective. Hope you have a great night. Hit
Like
that
and subscribe.
subscribe button, baby. YouTube.
Like and subscribe. YouTube.